Neptune, one human family. Kuiper Belt, one human family. Pluto, one human family. Planet 9, one human family. Back to Earth, one human family. Back to Earth, one human family. To the moon, one human family. On to Mars, one human family. Hey, here we come, one human family. Here we come, one human family. Here we are, one human family. Human family. Here we come, one human family. Here we are, one human family. Here we are, one human family. Here we are, one human family. Here we come, one human family. Here we are, one human family. One human family. Pow, pow, pow. Remember, we put that up just the other day. Greetings, happy Monday. It's me, Mike Mongo. 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 And how are you today? I've been waiting all weekend to see you. Wow. What? Super happy to see you. Here we are, one human family. You know what today is? Today is the day before Valentina's Day. Valentina's Day. The celebration of people who are women in space. How cool is that? Oh, wow. Valentina Tereshkova was the first human being who was a woman to go to space in 1963. She was also the youngest person who was a woman to ever go to space, 26. That's like just out of college. So, wow, there's so much information. It's almost impossible to remember it all. Thank gosh for Google. Valentina Tereshkova was the first person who was a woman to go to space. Sally Ride's another person who went to space, but so many years later, I think it was 1983. Woo! So, Valentina, 1963. Yeah, that's right, 1983. Sally Ride, first American person who was a woman to go to space. And Valentina Tereshkova is, I think she is 83. She was born in 1937. Is that right? 37, 47, 37, 47, 57, no, 47. She was born in 1947, 47, 57. Yeah, that would be right, because she was 26. So she was born in 1947. That's way back for you and me. And oh my gosh, are we already at the batteries are not recharged stage of the show? Guess what? You know what today is? Today is Monday, Miracle Monday, and since it's a miraculous Monday, we get to talk about not just Valentina Tereshkova, who went to space, the first person who was a woman to go to space in 1963, because June 16th is Valentina's Day. So April 12th is Yuri's night, and they have a big party and science events all around the world. And then June 16th is Valentina's Day. And so we celebrate people who are women in space. And that's, you can celebrate that if you're a girl, you can celebrate that if you're a boy. We get to celebrate people. We get to celebrate our accomplishments. We get to celebrate other people, even if it's not us, because sometimes people celebrate us even when it's not them. And that's a terrific plan of action. And so that's why we can wrap our heads around celebrating other people, even if it's not us. Girls can celebrate boys can celebrate girls. People who are light-skinned can celebrate people who are dark-skinned. People who are dark-skinned can celebrate people who are light-skinned. People who are tall can celebrate people who are short. People who are skinny can celebrate people who are fat. People who are short can celebrate people who are tall. People who are fat can celebrate people who are short. People who are this can celebrate people who are that. And people who are that can celebrate people who are this. People who are up can celebrate people who are down, and people who are down can celebrate people who are up. We can do this together. And that's kind of what what today's show is about. You know what today's show is about? Remember that question that I want you to keep in your head at all times. Do you remember it? I bet you don't. So I'm going to remind you right now. How am I helping? How am I helping? How am I helping make you a better person? How am I help making this world a better place? How am I helping? You with me? Are we together? How am I helping? And I want you to keep that in your mind. I want you to keep this idea operational. Think of it as like a utility that runs all the time. Ask yourself, how am I helping? Got it? This is the question you get to ask. You're gonna use it as a function all the time. How am I helping? Apply it always, 24 hours a day, every day for the rest of your life. From here on out, we're gonna use this. This is gonna be our utility that we share. There's other ones, but this is the main one. Everything else, the list starts after, how am I helping? So that if you are at home, or if you're at school, or if you're at scouts, or if you're at camp, or if you're at some sort of work or job or something that you're helping in, that you're present for, because if you're present, you can be helping. Just by showing up, you can be helping, okay? So the question is, how am I helping? Not how can I help, how am I helping? Once we figure out how I am helping or how I am not helping, we can figure out how to start helping, how to begin helping. And that's the first step, asking the question, how am I helping? Okay? So, like I said, today's kind of about celebrating other people. But first, let's check in on our space blackberries, shall we? They're right down here. Look, I've got them in the sun. They're not growing yet. Look, down here, space blackberries. There's our box. Those are the ones that we put in the soil. Look. I put them in the sun right now. I put them in the sun so that they are, I don't mind coming down here and checking out the blackberries. Hello. Come on, you can do it. We're celebrating you. We're human beings and we're celebrating you as plants. We want you to grow space blackberries, grow space blackberries, grow space blackberries, grow space blackberries. We celebrate you. You know what? When you encourage things, even if they're plants, if you encourage your cat, if you encourage your dog, if you encourage your sister, if you if you have a little sister, if you encourage her, that's going to help her. If you have a big brother and you encourage him, it's going to help him. If you have a parent who's tired, and you say, Mom, Dad, I appreciate you. It helps. That's how you can be helping, by being grateful. And that's what this Miracle Monday is all about. We're going to talk about gratitude. We're going to talk about being thankful. And I'm going to show you a way to show how you are grateful, how you are showing gratitude. I'm going to show you a way how you can show gratitude. Whew, boy. Oh my Google. Oh, wait, is this button right? Let's see. Yeah, I think that's right. Okay, cool. And it's going to tie into this, Valentina's Day. It's going to tie into that. We're going to do something super special today after we change out the battery on one of our lights. Pop out. Yep. You know, when I was you, I didn't do this enough. And part of the reason I didn't do it enough is because I didn't have somebody show me how important it was or how to do it. And I'm going to show you. We're going to go into it right now. So first of all, let's go over Valentina for a second. Can you imagine being the first person in space? Can you imagine being the first person to go in the ocean? Like, it doesn't matter if you're a person who's a man or a person who's a boy or a person who's a girl or a person who's a woman or a person who's light skinned or a person who's dark skinned or a person who's tall or a person who's small, or you get the idea. Being the first at something is scary, can be scary. It can be really exciting and can be scary. You can feel nervous or you can feel excited. And have you ever noticed that feeling nervous and feeling excited are actually kind of the same thing? It's how we feel about that feeling. When we feel nervous about something, when we feel that feeling and we decide to be nervous, that's like fear. But when we feel something over here and that same feeling and we're excited about it, or we feel good about it, that's excitement. Nervous versus excited. So I'm gonna show you a way to show your gratitude to people in your life, the people who matter to you. How do you feel about that? Are you nervous about it, or are you kind of excited? See, like if you if you have a test coming up in school, and you've done all the studying, and you know you're gonna get a good grade. Do you feel nervous? Do you feel excited? Probably mostly excited. And maybe a little nervous. But let's say you have a test coming up and you haven't studied at all for it. Are you gonna be nervous or are you gonna be excited? Probably very nervous. And maybe a little excited because maybe you'll get it. But the choice is ours, how we feel about something. How we get to choose. That feeling is the same feeling. It's nervous or excited, but it's the same feeling. It's how we feel about that feeling that we describe it. If we're fearful of that feeling, we call it nervous. And if we're happy about that feeling, we call it excited. My mom, as I've told you before, passed away. She died a couple years ago. And normally, don't you think that would make people sad? Don't you think that would make people feel a little sad? Well, guess what? I got all the opportunities, every opportunity that I could, especially as I grew up. I got the opportunity to tell her how much she meant to me. And I got to not just tell her, I got to show her with my acts. My actions reflected my words. I didn't just say that she meant a lot to me, I showed it. I didn't just say it, I showed it. And how I showed it was, I went and I made her dinner. Sometimes I made her bed. I did her laundry. I did my mom's laundry. That's a pretty grown-up thing to do. I'm a grown-up. I planted her plants. I helped her trim her plants. I folded her laundry. I went and got her groceries. Now that sounds like a lot of work, doesn't it? At the time, sometimes even it did feel like work. Not always, but sometimes. And now that she's gone, those memories make me feel great. Those were all actions that I put love into. I was doing it out of love. So when our mom and our dad or our grandparents, like some of us have a special grandparent who really cares about us. And so showing them with actions, not just words, but actions, how much they mean to us, are memories that we carry with us for all our life. And not everybody tells students this, so you don't know it. They're like, oh, it's nice to send a letter. It's nice to get flowers and for somebody else. It's nice to do a chore for somebody else. But no one ever really explains. Well, maybe like I'm explaining, but no one really explained to me how important it was to do nice things for the people that I love. Not really. They didn't really explain it to me. They didn't explain it to me when I was you. They did not explain it to me when I was you. The value, that means what it's worth. The value of being appreciative, of showing appreciation with acts of appreciation. No one explained it to me when I was you. And so that's why we're having this conversation right now. Like, I'm sitting down, so it's obviously a serious conversation. Like, this is an important conversation because today you can make all the difference in the entire world. We have that power every single day. And it's not necessarily saving the world from alien invasion or saving a ship that's sinking or stopping a oil rig from spilling oil and saving a bunch of baby seals and polar bears. It's not like that. Those are big things, and I'm sure people would be appreciative of those things as well. It's little things. It's like drawing a picture for your mom or your dad or your auntie or your uncle or your tia or your tío or your abuela or your abuelo or su hermano or su hermana, your brother or your sister. It's these little things. It will make all the difference in your life and who you are and who you grow up to be. You can only do them now. They only count in the future. You have to do them now, and it counts in the future. It's the coolest thing. It's like buying a gumball today and getting a gumball factory in the future. Imagine putting a quarter in a machine and not getting the gumball today, but in the future you get a gumball factory. That's a pretty good way of looking at it. So, remember how we wrote a letter to, we've written a bunch of letters. You know how I love writing letters. Well, we wrote one to Jim Bridenstine one time and said thank you and asked him a couple questions. And I think we wrote one to Jeff Bezos from Blue Origin. And today we're going to write a letter to somebody in another country, unless you're watching in Russia. But if you're watching in anywhere but Russia, we're going to write a letter to Valentina Tereshkova and wish her a happy Valentina's Day and say thank you for what you did for us by leading the way to space for people who are women and people who are young. Youngest person who's a woman to ever go to space. What? So we're going to write a letter and say thank you. I'm going to show you how to do it, okay? So let's because you never know what if Valentina Tereshkova hasn't got the letter she's been waiting for, and it was the one from you that says thank you for being the first person who's a woman in space and opening the door for all humankind to go to space. What if she's waiting for that letter from you and she's still alive? She's in her 80s. And we're going to do that today, right now. Wow. You're a student and you're writing a letter to the first person who's a woman to ever go to space today. Happy Valentina's Day. What? All right, so let's get a setup here. First of all, I always keep some thank you cards around. It's always good to have a thank you card, and they're blank. So, and you can make a thank you card really easily with a blank piece of paper. You just fold it and then write thank you on the other side, and it makes a card. So I have a thank you card around, makes it really simple. One of the things my mom taught me was to keep thank you cards around. I got a thank you envelope, but you could just put a piece of paper in a regular envelope. You could just put a piece of paper. What matters is the heart that you put into it, how you feel about it when you do it. That's the key. It's not about the paper or the piece of paper or whether it's a card or not. It's about how you feel when you're doing it. If you're really feeling appreciative, it comes through on whatever you write on. So taking time to do it right, that's important. I think I've got a blue one, but I think I'm going to send a green one. I think I'm going to use green. We're going to write a letter to Valentina Tereshkova, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Wow! You're writing a letter to Valentina Tereshkova, the first person who's a woman and the youngest person to ever go to space. Pow! Pen. But I normally use a kind of marker, and this time I think I'm going to use a pen. So let's do it right over here. And let's get something to write on. Oh yeah. Paper bags. Paper bags. Paper bags make great writing surfaces, really. You can do an exercise on a paper bag. And this is kind of an exercise. People think that exercising is like just jumping jacks and somersaults and stuff like that. But it doesn't have to be like that. It can be, yeah, let's paka paka. Paka paka. Paka paka. Let's do it like this. So you can see it. And we'll keep the space blackberries right here on the side while we're doing it. Just so we put the good energy right here with the space blackberries. We want them to be part of this process too, because we want gratitude and happiness to go into their growth. If we want something to grow, if someone's nice to you and does things to help you and support you and make sure you have the right food to eat and grow healthy, that's called nurturing. And we can nurture plants just by wishing them well. And I've got good soil in here, and I've got nice, good, clean water in there. So these space blackberries, and now we're gonna do something next. We're having them space blackberries right here while we're writing this nice letter. So we got a good feeling going on. So this makes me really happy, because when I was you, I knew about Valentina Tereshkova as the first person who's a woman to go to space. I knew about her. And here I am as a grown-up talking to you about her, writing her a letter, and hopefully you will write her a letter also, a thank you note. So I always start my thank you notes with dear. Dear. Since we're not personal friends, we might be in the future, but we're not now. I'm gonna write her whole name. Valentina Teresh. There's that SH, Esh, Ko, K-O, Va. There, beautiful. My name is, now I write this really fast because I've been practicing for a long time. So don't worry about taking your time. When we're doing something important, we can take our time. Mike Mongo. And I am an astronaut. Whoops. You ever see somebody make a little error and then they scribble it all out and make a big mess? But look, I wrote the wrong letter and I drew. She knows I'm writing the word astronaut. As we get older, we understand what words we're using. So I always say no runs, no drips, no errors. That's not really an error. I am an astronaut teacher. You inspired that means put the fire inside of me. You inspired me. You put the fire inside of me when I was a young student. Thank you. That's it. Very simple. It doesn't have to be, like, I could write a letter if I wanted to, but I may write another letter in addition to this, because Valentina Tereshkova is a big deal. She is important to me as Neil Armstrong. And I got Neil Armstrong right here on my phone. So then the last thing I do is sign my name. And I sign in cursive. And I've practiced signing my name for years and years and years. So I just go really fast. It makes me feel good to sign my name. And then, I'm going to put the astronaut, the human heirs symbol, the heart, the wing, the wings, heart, wings, star. Nice, right? Thank you. Now, this is the envelope it goes in. So we got to be a little more careful with this one. And especially, this envelope, this particular card, Valentina Tereshkova lives in Russia, so this is going into another country. I'm sending this to another country. So it's going to be a little different for the stamps, but that's okay. And I have the address. I got it before we started today. So let me put it right here so that I can look at it. Okay, so I am going to put, she is a government official, Valentina Tereshkova. So give yourself plenty of room to write it, because it's a lot to write. Valentina Tereshkova. And then, because she works in the government, I'm putting it to care of. And when we do care of, we do this CO. This person's going to get the letter to her for me. And it's care of chairman, and that's their title, of the regional Duma, D-U-M-A, which is a Russian word, and it means like representatives, like a House of Representatives. The regional regional Duma would be House of Representatives, regional for an area. And then the city is Yaroslavl. S-L-A-V-L. Yaroslavl. That's a nice word. And then they have a code, a mailing code, a postal code, and it's 150, and then 3 more zeros. 0, 0, 0. And then underneath, this is the important one, because you got to put this. Russia. It goes to Russia. It's going to this country, from our country. I'm in the United States. I'm a United States citizen. So I'm sending it to Here, this is where I'm sending it to. Oh, I forgot a big piece of the address. Oh my goodness gracious. I certainly did. What should I do? I don't think I have enough space to write it on here. I better get another envelope. I'll tell you what. If I had some white tape, I could put white tape on there. Practice makes perfect. Valentina. Valentina. Tereshkova. Tereshkova. And then again, CO means care of, so we're going to do CO, chairman, I have to pay close attention to get it right this time, of the regional, and that means an area, a region. Regional Duma, and that is like the House of Representatives for a region. It's like a smaller version of the House of Representatives. Like the states have their own representatives, so chairman of the regional representatives. And then the address that I forgot the first time, but that I'm remembering this time, is a street address. 5 Sovet Ska Ya Square. This is so exciting. We're writing a letter to Russia, another country, to an astronaut in another country. And here's the city, Yarrow. Slavel, S-L-A-V-L, Slavel, Yaroslavl. And then the postal code, what we call the zip code, 150, and then 3 more zeros, 150, and then 0, 0, 0. And then last but not least, meaning this is also very important, last but not least important, but at least as important, Russia. Look how great that is. We're writing a letter to the very first person who's a woman who went to space. She's still alive. She went to space in 1963. Her name is Valentina Tereshkova. We're writing it for Valentina's Day. Oh, that reminds me. I'm gonna open this up and write in cursive. In my nice cursive, happy Valentina apostrophe day. And then I'm going to write June 16, 20. Whoops, 20. June 16, 2020. There it is. Cool, right? Then here's this one. And there's the other thing. Since this is coming from me, I get to put my address over here. So I'm going to write that. I'll write that later, but I'll show you where it goes. It goes up here. Mike Mongo. You can also put it on the back. And I'm just gonna write this part right here. I'll write it on the back later. This is the city I live in, Sherman Oaks. It's in California. It's in Los Angeles, California. Los Angeles is a big place. Sherman Oaks, California, okay? So then, on the back, I also write this. The symbol of the human heirs. That's our symbol. You can use it anytime you want. Heart, wing, star. It's your symbol, it's my symbol. It's about the next generation of space explorers. Then, take the card. Make sure you got the right card. Make sure we got the right envelope. Put it in here. And this is one of the older style cards, so it has this licky stuff right here. Pucka, pucka. Pucka, pucka. So let me take it and lick it. And then goes it like this. And because it's quarantine, we're just gonna pucka, pucka. Set it in the sun. And the sun, any germs, take care of. We'll leave it there. And then that's the letter we're gonna mail to Valentina Tereshkova. Wow, listen, you are alive and she is alive. And now is the only time in your life that you'll get to do this. You don't know how long she gets to be alive. She's in her 80s. So you writing this letter to Valentina Tereshkova is a big deal. Write that letter to Valentina Tereshkova. I'm just since I licked it, sometimes envelopes are automatic stick, but this is an old style envelope. And so since it's coronavirus, I'm putting it in the sun and I'll leave it there for 20 minutes. And I'll tell you what, we can still remember what we got. We got space stamps. We can put our stamps on it. We went to the mail, remember? We used these to mail to Jim Bridenstine. And it's probably gonna take a lot of them, really. But I'll just put one on before I take it to the post office. I definitely wanna have that on there. Really wanna cover up her name. Perfect. There. First moon landing. Cool. So that's a good stamp for Valentina Tereshkova. And it's reflective. It's a cool stamp. She'll like to get it. She probably doesn't have that yet. And that's cool. So we'll just set that there. And there's our stuff. Pucka pucka. And that is, hey, Gimbal, where you at? Hi, Gimbal. And that is how we show appreciation. It really makes a big difference to me that Valentina went to the moon. I know it sounds really exciting for her to go to the moon. Like, it would be, who would say no? If some government or some company said, hey, would you like to be the first kid in space? We would be, who wouldn't say, yes, I want to be the first kid in space? Who wouldn't say that? And nonetheless, the kids in the future would be grateful for you for taking on that responsibility, because it's dangerous to go to space. It is. She was 26 and those were brand new spaceships. We had just brand new started sending people to space. And people died. Like when we were testing new spaceships, we didn't know anything. And that's important to remember. And so that's why we honor the people who went to space first. And it just so happens one of them is alive. The very first person to go to space is named Yuri Gagarin. That was the first person. He was in Russia. And that was 1961. And he died. He died in a jet crash accident. And we still appreciate him. We have statues and we have celebrations. And we have Yuri's Night every year, April 12th, when we celebrate the first human being in space. And then like on my phone is Neil Armstrong, the first person who's American to go to space and walk on the moon. No, he wasn't the first American to go to space. Sorry. That was, I think it was Alan Shepard. Let's look it up. I'll look it up right now. I could say, hey Siri, first. Google is so great. You're so lucky to have Google. American in space. Alan Shepard. Ho! Pow, pow, pow! I got it right. Oh my gosh. It's really important for me to get this stuff right for you so that you know it and have it right when you tell somebody else and show them how smart you are. So yeah, the first American to go to space was Alan Shepard. And that was in May 5th, 1961. It was 1 month after the first Russian went to space. That's a close race too. That was really close. So, but there's always the first. So they were neck and neck. They were like right next to each other going to space, and then like I said, my guy Neil Armstrong, first person to walk on the moon, first human being on the moon. And look at the stamp that I put on first moon landing. That was for Valentina. So it's perfect, right? Now, in addition to writing a letter to Valentina Tereshkova, I want you to write a note to your mom or your dad or your guardian or your teacher or your aunt or your uncle or a special neighbor or a special friend, somebody who looks out for and inspires you, looks out for and inspires you. I want you to write a note. It says how much you appreciate them. Now, it just puts it to word, but it does it with feeling. Like I wrote that note to Valentina Tereshkova, and I want you to know I'm feeling it. I'm so grateful to be alive and be able to mail her that letter. You're seeing me do it. That's recorded for all history. So it's the same kind of thing. When you write a letter to somebody that you care about a lot, this is called gratitude. This is called being thankful. You know that feeling of being thankful when you appreciate something? That is such a rewarding feeling. I wake up in the morning and I have chocolate waiting for me. Like I eat it with my oatmeal, believe it or not. A piece of chocolate and my oatmeal. And I am appreciative of myself yesterday for having it ready for me. I'm appreciative of myself last week for going to the grocery store and buying that for me. You know, it's still quarantine, so I hope you're wearing your mask. Look, since we're down here, I'll show you. Check it out. Here's my mask. I wear it all over. Whoops. I wear my mask wherever I go. And you know what? When I see people and they're wearing their mask during quarantine, I say, thank you for wearing a mask. Thank you for wearing a mask. And if I need to get something to eat, I just take this off. Make sure my hands are clean. And then put that back on. Cool, right? It's a good one. I like it. Yeah, it's quarantine, so we're supposed to be wearing masks because we don't want to spread germs to other people. And also, it prevents germs from being spreaded to us. Raphael says spreaded. So I hope you're wearing your mask. And when people are wearing a mask and I'm out in public and I see them and I'm wearing my mask, I say thank you. And do you know what? It's the coolest thing. People are appreciative when I say thank you to them. Like they're just doing what they think is their job. They think it's their responsibility, which is true. It's my responsibility to wear my mask. It very much is. So that I don't get sick and so that I don't get anyone else sick. So that I don't spread germs and so that I don't get germs. It's my responsibility. I get to do that. And so when I see other people taking up their responsibility, I say thank you because I am appreciative. I just say thank you. Thanks for wearing a mask. They can't see my smile. Look. This is actually really funny. Watch. Here's what I do. I'm smiling right now. Thanks for wearing a mask. Well, here's the cool thing about this. Look at this. Let's see. Gimbal. When you smile, your eyes change. Like here's me regular. And here's me smiling. And here's me regular. And here's me smiling. You can tell I'm smiling. And people smile underneath their mask when I say, thanks for wearing your mask. Thanks for wearing a mask. And they know I mean it because I got mine on. Told you I was smiling. And so that's another way of showing appreciation. a wave is such a great way of showing appreciation. You know what? After a show, like let's say we see a music concert and people are playing music. After a show, we applaud. Sometimes after movies. You ever been in a movie theater where everybody applauds? Where everybody is so happy about the film that is playing that they applaud? Like, it was so good. Like, I have to tell you, when I saw Marvel's Avengers, everybody applauded. They applauded at the beginning. We applauded at the beginning. We applauded so many times during the movie, and then we applauded at the end after the villain was defeated. And that was fun. It was fun to be appreciative with everybody else. We all shared in that experience together. When I was growing up, we used to have circuses. When people did tricks, magicians did tricks or clowns did tricks. Sometimes animals did tricks. And we always applauded because we were appreciative. Did you know that like there's some animals who really like, I gotta put this letter in the sun, who really like performing? There's some animals who really like performing. It's true. I know this because when I was younger, I got to work at a circus. I got to tour with the Lewis and Clark Regional Circus. Like, remember how the letter is sent to the Regional Duma, which is the Regional House of Representatives? I worked with a regional circus as an associate ringmaster. And then I got to go in front of everybody and I would sing a song. I would sing 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Come in the door, we're doing it live. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lewis and Clark having some fun. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Come in the door, we're doing it live. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lewis and Clark having some fun. I would sing that loud, loud. And I got to see all these animals that really weren't excited until they were performing. You ever meet people that love to perform? They love to be on stage. They love to do music. They love to dance. They love to sing. Or they love to teach. Some teachers, I love to teach. I love to teach. I love getting to talk with you. I love getting to put this show together. Like, when I was you, no one told me how to write to Valentina Tereshkova for Valentina's Day, June 16th. And here's the address right here. Like, really nice. I wrote it down so you would have it. So, when there were people like, I had a teacher, Mr. Risley, we call him Grizzly Risley, in 7th grade, I think, in Morgan Fitzgerald in Pinellas County, Florida, Pinellas Park, Florida. And he showed me another way of loving to read and write that my mom hadn't taught me. He showed me another way to be passionate about reading and writing, and I'm appreciative to Mr. Risley. Remember, I've talked to you about Franny Lloyd, the art teacher I had in high school, and she taught me about the B word, boredom, boring. When we would be in class and we were learning something about art, we're like, this is boring. And she said, there is no boring. There's only boring people. You can't be bored. You can be a boring person. And we snapped out of that because nobody in the room wanted to be boring. Franny Lloyd. So I was appreciative of them. And some of these people I've got to say thank you to. And when you look back and there's people who made a difference in your life and you've sent a message to them, you've shown them, you've done the act or taken action to show your appreciation, it makes all the difference in the world. You changed the world with doing that. Yeah, a while ago there was a student who asked me these questions. Oh, I gotta tell you, I got a question. I got a question from a far away place. Far away. Like a lot of people watch this show. It's cool. Let's see. I was writing a lot of people about Valentina's Day today. Let's see. Where are they? Was it on all these different platforms? There's Twitter, there's Facebook, there's Instagram. I get messages all over the place. So it's a little tricky sometimes finding the person. Let's look over here. This is, I got a message from a girl in Tunisia. Tunisia, let's see. Let's find her. That's important. Let's see if I can find her and find her name, because she needs to get a shout out. I'm impressed with her. I mean, she took the initiative to write me. I found it. Her name is Chebi Hanin. Chebi Hanin. My name is Hanin. Her name is Hanin Chebi. I'm 16 years old and I'm from Tunisia and I want to be an astronaut. Can you tell me how to become an astronaut? And I sent her a picture of an astronaut. One of the NASA astronauts took, here, let me show you. Paka. One of the took a picture of a flag, a Tunisian flag in space and showing the Earth. Andrew Morgan, NASA astronaut Andrew Morgan, paid tribute to Tunisia by publishing a breathtaking picture on his Facebook page. Wow, the sun glints off the Mediterranean Sea as we pass over Africa and Tunisia, he writes. Oh, there's the picture right there. Whoa. So from space, that's a pretty good shot. And then Tunisia. So, sweet. Oh, what? Underwear. There's advertising for underwear. Oh boy, that's funny. I don't need girls' underwear today, thank you very much. But I did just get these new t-shirts that I'm wearing right now. And so sometimes the internet, I got a brand new t-shirt on today. And sometimes the internet decides that we need all kinds of awesome stuff. So I wonder if the internet's gonna show me the Tunisian flag now that I've been Googling about that. I bet it will. I've noticed it does these things. So that's it. She asked, remember she asked that question. Let's look at it. Her name is Chebi was her last name. And Hanin, Chebi Hanin. And I even have a little picture of her. Let's see if we can bring that up. That's, here it is. Paka. That's Chebi Hanin. Cool, huh? So she's cool. And how cool is it? She asked that question today on Valentina's Day. We're writing a letter to Valentina Tereshkova. Hanin, write letters to astronauts. Write letters to the people that influence you, inspire you, and who you appreciate. And write letters of thanks. And ask them letters. Like you wrote a letter to me, I've messaged you back already. And this is so great. Look how this is working. We're gonna make this whole planet and our whole future work together. You're gonna do these things and you're gonna change everything. I'm giving you the tools necessary to pave a way for your success in the future. All you have to do is listen to this stuff right here. Listen to these instructions. Watch these shows. Don't forget to do this thing right here. Pow, subscribe. And if you want to, you can visit the website, MikeMongo.com. But hit that subscribe button. Do that. Follow these lessons. Do the work that we're talking about doing. Do it. Don't just watch the shows. Do the work. Write the letters. Say thank you. Practice your politeness and your manners. Learn these things. You can study how to do these things. And then remember to ask always, how am I helping? How am I helping? How am I helping? That's the function, that's utility we're gonna keep in our minds from here on out. You're gonna carry that with you your entire life from here on out. How am I helping? How am I helping? How am I helping? And look in the situation, how you are helping. And then if you're not helping, adjust it. And if you are helping, keep up the good work. You're doing a great job. Just you being here and paying attention is making a difference in the world. It makes a difference in my life. Hanin, thank you for sending me that message. It made a difference today. And you can make a difference too. Everybody watching right now, how are you helping? Ask yourself, how am I helping? And go and do the work. And the words of my people,